Difference between managed code and unmanaged code. When we are going to say it as a managed code and when we are going to say particular code as unmanaged code, we are going to say it as a managed code when the code executes the compiler with the help of compiler. That code we are going to say as managed code. It executes with the CLR instead of operating system. A code which executes by the CLR, we call it as managed code, and a code which does not execute under the CLR, we call it as unmanaged code. Unmanaged code directly executes under the operating system. First point, code executed by CLR instead of operating system. The code which is executed by the CLR instead of operating system, this particular code we are going to call it as managed code. And what is unmanaged code? Code which executed by operating system directly. The code which is executed by operating system directly, we call that particular code as unmanaged code. And here in the managed code, the runtime will provide services like garbage collector, type checking, exception handling, because since the code is executed by the CLR, the runtime is going to provide the services like garbage collector, type checking, exception handling. All these are provided by the runtime. But coming to the unmanaged code, here it is not running under the by the CLR, it is running under the operating system. Here it does not provide the services like garbage collector, type checking. All these things should be taken care by the programmer. It should be taken care by the programmer itself. Here unmanaged code does not provide the services like garbage collector, type checking. All these things the programmer itself should take care, because in the earlier languages like C and C++, we don't have the garbage collector, because for the garbage collector to deallocate the memory, we are going to, the programmer should write the piece of code to deallocate the memory. But for the managed code, it is not necessary to write the code for the deallocation. Directly garbage collector, it deallocates the unnecessary memory. And here the code is compiled by the language compiler into IL code. Here the source code is compiled by the language compiler into the intermediate language. Here unmanaged code, directly the code will be compiled into native code. Here in the managed code, the code is compiled by the language compiler into the IL code, whereas in the unmanaged code, the code will be compiled into the directly into the native code. So this is about the managed code and unmanaged code.